William Holtz with Lake TV here at Slumberland at the Lake. I'm getting ready to look for my brand new recliner, but that's not the only thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for Uncle Chris because he's supposed to be here with me. Uncle Chris, there you are. Wake up, Uncle Chris. Hello, hey, I got your coffee ready. I got your cup of coffee.
Oh, it's time for a cup of coffee with Wild Will and Uncle Chris.
Right here from Slumberland at the Lake.
It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
Man, Uncle Chris, you need to wake yourself up. I'm telling you what, good thing you got a cup of coffee, but if there's anywhere you can be nice, relaxed, and comfortable, it's right here at Slumberland at the Lake.
I need some coffee.
Yeah, you need some coffee. I think I spilt it all on you over there in the process of waking you up. It's time for another cup of coffee with Wild Will and Uncle Chris right here from Slumberland at the Lake, and lots of cool things going on around the lake. Big weekend for the Ozarks Amphitheater, record-setting concert. Interesting headline, paddlefish poachers
that was kind of weird.
The lake. I don't even like caviar anyway. Yeah, kind of gross. Some other wild boat headlines. And then if you guys caught the McGregor-Poirier fight, that was a wild, abrupt ending at the end of round one there. We're also going to talk this week about Chris and I's top 3 NFL quarterbacks going into the 2021 season as the NFL officially announced their rankings. 100 executives, coaches, and scouts.
We haven't compared notes, but I bet you our top 3 quarterbacks are the same.
I bet you they're not.
Really?
You think in order they're going to be the same, or you just think?
I'm not sure about the order, but I think the 3 will be the same.
I like it. I like it. I'm probably right, knowing me as well as you do. You wouldn't have said that unless you feel like we got the same 3. We're also going to get a little inspiration, and then I'm going to review an incredible anniversary experience at our friend over at Redhead Lakeside Grill with some beautiful flowers, thanks to the folks over at Hy-Vee. All that and so much more. But first, got to hear from my man Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland at the Lake.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. You're going to want to stop by and check out our new Sleep Solutions gallery. Over the next month, we're going to be making some incredible changes. To celebrate, we brought in lots of mattresses that can go today or be delivered in just a couple of days. So over the coming weeks, come check out all the changes of our Sleep Solution gallery at Slumberland Furniture at the Lake, where we're bringing happy home.
All right, so we told you guys last week about the fun run. Alicia Machino and Scott Page.
Yeah.
They were 2 of 3 people in the state of Missouri qualified for the 10-day run, eclipsing 300 plus miles, 310 to be exact. And as of today, Wednesday, when you guys watch this or later on, they're set to hit the 250-mile marker as of Wednesday with 3 days to go, so on pace. And if you check out the Facebook page, Fun Run, I mean, they've had blisters, they've had sores, they've had twisted ankles, and they are just trucking right along, all for charity. And I can't get over this many miles in consecutive days, because I'll tell you, if I try to run more than 5 or 6 back in my running days, which as you guys can see was many pounds ago, he's sick, you're sick. But I'm telling you, you don't get the chance to recoup and recover. And Alicia said that they're running from 7:30 in the morning to 7:30 in the evening and trying to hit at least 31 miles per day. They're on pace to hit the mark, and just an incredible feat, and all for the good folks over at Wonderland Camp.
Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, it's so neat what they're doing. You know, I mean, it's so hard what they're doing. Getting up, crack of dawn, running all day long. I think they're trying to run, 31 miles a day?
Yeah.
31 miles a day out there in open country in the middle of summer. And I've seen pictures of them at the end of the day. They're still smiling. Looks like they're still having fun, but it's taking a toll on them.
I think they probably have a few beers by the end of the day, Scott and Alicia, knowing them, and that will give you one thing to look forward to at the end of the day. But me and my lack of self-control, I might have a hard time getting up the next morning and running. All right, so you were actually there Friday at the Ozarks Amphitheater for the John Party show. How was that?
It was pretty good, and really that was our first big concert, the lovely Mrs. Uncle Chris and I at the Ozarks Amphitheater. We've been to another concert. It kind of got rained out. It was much smaller. It was the Symphony. So this was our first big concert, and it was good. I mean, it was really good. I tell you what, that facility is just so amazing there. You know, the amphitheater. It's kind of surprising because, I mean, if you're driving down 5, you don't know it's there.
Right.
Or even Old 5, you don't really know it's there until you drive down in there, and then when you get it was a good show. Of course, Mary Kay and Tom and everybody did an amazing job. You know what also is amazing is the number of people from the community, and I mean important, successful people in the community that you see working there just for the fun of working there.
I heard that Lake TV's Ricky Smith was flinging drinks and clearing trash for him this weekend.
He was flinging something. Not sure what it was, but you know, and I saw the wonderful folks from New Spring Wellness Center there, and just a lot of, you know, amazing people who could spend their time otherwise. They're there kind of helping the community and helping out.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Mary Kay Von Brendel.
You
know, when you get to know her as not just a friend, and you want to see her and you want to see that venue succeed, and that's why you see people like Ricky Smith, Chad and Katie Brewer, and countless others.
And you've done that before.
Well, picked up trash and cleaned some toilets, but not getting paid for it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And, you know, they want to see that place succeed, and anytime there's a call where someone in the community you're close to needs help, and they were short some staff for a sold-out John Party show, and they had an incredible response from the community, had 25 extra hands, they said, they wouldn't typically have, and it was the biggest show ever to date. Previously, it was Alabama a couple years ago. They sold just over 6,000 tickets, and they actually had 5,400 in the gate that night. Well, for John Party, they sold 6,137 tickets and had over 6,000 people in the venue. That hadn't been done in the last 6 years under this ownership. So incredible, and there's more to come. They just announced your buddy Dwight Yoakam's coming from Sling Blade.
That's right.
Tom showed me the video, the YouTube video, and we did the mic'd up for the announcement. He showed me the scene where they're sitting in the living room and that song comes out and he freaks out. And man, Dwight Yoakam, he's a character.
He is a character. I mean, and he's one of those people that looks completely different with his hat on and his hat off.
He prefers the hat on.
He does.
Can't picture him without the hat on.
He looks like 30 years younger with the hat on. Take the hat off. Man, he looks like he's not purty. I'll just say that much right
hat
now.
on looks like me, hat off looks like Uncle Chris. What an age difference that makes. All right, so this is an interesting story. I'm kind of going to let you tackle the majority of this one, but Nathan Rennie, he's a local, and if you heard his name, probably from his failed attempt at turning the commission forum last year into a Saturday Night Live skit, and also his stance on Hot Topic political issues over the last few years, but apparently they issued a search warrant, did the county, to him to get into his personal Facebook account, which seems weird, and he cries foul over this, according to Lake Expo. So what is this story entail?
Okay, so June 11th, after an extensive search of court documents, Nathan Rennie received a warrant that gave investigators almost unrestricted access into his Facebook account. He had heard about the warrant from a source within the Camden County Courthouse, didn't know about it, hadn't been told about it. This is the scary part of this story. Whether you like Nathan Rennie or not, this is the government spying on you part of the story that kind of makes you a little nervous, again, whether you like him or not. So he hadn't been told about it. Some source in the Camden County Courthouse says, hey man, they've got a warrant there. They're looking at your Facebook accounts and everything. He didn't even know it. Warrant was for a search of his entire Facebook account, and the probable cause was for alleged trespassing when Rennie went to vote at the county courthouse. Apparently that was something that had happened earlier.
Well, he had been banned from coming into the courthouse.
Because he was the one that taped that, where one of the new commissioners came in and got confronted by some of the workers there or something like that. I think he had taped that. So I think he was kind of persona non grata with some of the county people, which is apparently why they were going out of him. So Rennie has become known over the last few years, you know, as a hot button political kind of a guy, and apparently he's made some enemies in the Camden County Courthouse. So Rennie received a letter from the county commissioner informing him that he was prohibited from entering the Camden County Courthouse. It came after he filmed video within the courthouse relating to Gravelgate, another hot button issue of late, right?
Right.
So he's been a part of all this. so he hasn't made a whole lot of friends in there. Rennie says, other than what some within the courthouse have privately told him, he did not know what he had been charged with or the reason until he got the document. And he told Lake Expo he can't help but think it's political.
Yeah, of course.
So Camden County Undersheriff and his assistant had no comment when asked for confirmation of the charges and existence of this warrant against Rennie. So
I don't even understand how somebody can draw a connection to the two, whereas if you're caught trespassing, especially, on a city public building like the courthouse, okay, so you've been banned, but how does that give them the right to go through his personal Facebook and read his messages? And when you're involved in things that Nathan Rennie is involved in, as far as trying to fight for what he considers justice and uncover anything that might be ill or corrupt, that then they get access to his personal messages, meaning anyone that he's corresponded with or had conversations with via Facebook, those are now people that have been exposed, and I don't think that's just. I don't see how you can justify.
Doesn't that seem like an invasion of privacy?
Oh, for sure. Okay, so maybe you might get escorted, or later you might get cited because you broke your no trespass order. But to actually get into someone's personal Facebook, that does not seem like your constitutional rights. And like you said, Uncle Chris, whether you like the guy or not, because, let's just call a spade. He's kind of a punk when it comes down to it, the way he fights, the way he argues. He's not afraid to piss people off, and he's done a lot of that over the last couple of years, but you still want everyone to have their constitutional rights, and that just seems crazy to me.
Yeah, it does. And another aspect of this is apparently the warrant was signed in Laclede County, not in Camden County. From what we're hearing, none of the judges in Camden County would sign off on this, so they had to go to Laclede County for that.
Yeah.
That's another part of this that just kind of smells wrong.
And it's wild because it was actually signed into effect in May. He wasn't even notified or wasn't even aware until the middle or early part of June. So something's going on there.
Yeah.
And like I said, regardless of how you feel about Mr. Nathan Rennie, I certainly think he has reason to cry foul. And my question now is, so where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
If you piss off the Camden County Commission's office, if you make the city of Camden, if you make this municipality angry, they then have the power within their organization to get a judge to sign off on a warrant to look through your personal Facebook account. I think that's insane.
Well, it kind of seems like intimidation, doesn't it? Like, okay, we're Americans. We're supposed to be free. If we've got a problem with something, we're supposed to stand up and have enough guts to, come out and say, hey, I got a problem with this. Let's talk about it. Let's, deal with it or something. And when the system tries to intimidate you to back you off of doing that, then something's wrong with that, right? Unless there really is crimes committed, which there doesn't seem to have been any crimes committed here.
Well, he did trespass. He couldn't. I don't know how you expect the guy to vote if you're banned from the courthouse unless there's other means which there should be to vote. But so apparently he did trespass, and that is how they handled that. So after that story, are you hungry?
Not after this story.
How about some caviar, baby?
So, have you ever had caviar?
No, and I never will either. That just sounds disgusting, looks disgusting, but paddlefish poachers busted at Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
The story broke on lakeexpo.com. We've got pictures for you. Now, I'm going to let you take a stab at the names of these two gentlemen from South Carolina, because I can't even get it out.
They kind of seem Russian to me.
Yeah.
Vladimir N. Namchuk and Victor A. Olympico or something like that. Hey, I covered hockey for a long time, so that's kind of close. So they sound Russian, but apparently they live in South Carolina and poaching paddlefish caviar, right?
Crazy.
That is weird.
So they did get caught. There was surveillance footage taken over the course of 13 hours, and they were stopped, and they apparently had went in to Lake of the Ozarks in the Morgan County, one of the lake accesses there. Now, the crazy thing was they weren't apprehended. They weren't arrested.
That was my question.
The paddlefish and these 5 huge Walmart sacks filled with this caviar was taken, and they say that it's uncommon here at the lake for this to happen. However, 90% of all caviar poaching or fish egg poaching is paddlefish, because apparently it's incredibly sought after on the black market.
Wow.
And for restaurants over on the coast. And so there you have it. There is caviar in these paddlefish, and it just looks even more disgusting as you take a look.
Who was the first person? You know, there's a lot of foods you go, who thought of eating that first, right? Who was the first person that caught a fish, opened it up, there's a bunch of eggs in there, go, oh, delicious. Let's have some eggs, right? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it wasn't me and it wasn't you.
No.
That's for sure. So they were, I'm sure they were fined pretty heftily, and something tells me
not taken into custody. That's weird.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's just a finable offense and not.
Yeah. So anyway, the thank God that the caviar has been taken back into proper hands and can be done with whatever they might. So all right, boat captains looking for something to do, maybe interested in the shootout. Well, LOA's looking for you. The Lake Ozark Watershed Alliance said, "Attention, boat captains! We need responsible boat captains to volunteer for the shootout. You're going to get a front row seat right close and personal to the action. Patrol assistance is requested to make sure spectators don't get too close to the racers. They want to keep this event safe, and they need a few extra volunteers. Now, if you're interested and you want to find out more about how you can sign up for this, exactly what it entails, you're going to need to get in touch with Samantha Swank with LOA. You can call 573-836-5080 or email them at adminassst@loawatershed.org. So that'll be cool. You get to go out, volunteer, and like I said, you're going to have the best seat in the house, and that is really where you want to be, is out there on the course. If you can't be in the shootout, you want to watch on TV, because there's not a lot of places at Ron's to see.
Right.
So you can watch on Lake TV, but the other greatest place would be on the water, right up close and personal.
Well, and that's one of the cool things, again, about the Lake of the Ozarks. It's something that makes this area so amazingly special. We were talking about that with the amphitheater. You get bigwigs in the community that show up to work concerts at the amphitheater just to make things go well, right?
Yeah.
Same thing at shootout. You know, hey, you got a boat, you know how to drive that boat, you want to help out, you want a great seat for the shootout, here you go, baby, here's your chance.
Yeah, really, really cool. And over 800 volunteers total go into the annual Lake of the Ozarks shootout to make that a success. So that's coming, and we'll have lots on that right here on Lake TV over the next couple of months as we get you closer and closer.
Well, and you're
to
running
that.
the silent auction this year, right? So there's another way you can help raise money. Check out Wild Will's silent auction at Captain Ron's during the shootout.
Imagine if they called it that, how many people would not come to that.
We'd have to be turning people away.
Speaking of boating, as we talk about shootout, man, some more wild headlines. Not going to talk about them too long, but these are just 4 headlines I saw over the week. Boat catches fire, 98-year-old man falls in and drowns. Boat plows in to stop Tri-Tune pulling a tube, and car crashes through a retaining wall, ends up on the side of a hill. So just craziness going on. If you didn't live down here and you didn't know the amount of boats and how minute of a percentage that truly is, you would think it might be dangerous to boat down here on the lake.
Yeah, I didn't read about the 98-year-old guy drowning. Did he just fall in the water, or?
I believe, he went to lean on a post on the dock, missed it, fell in, and he was found later. So really sad story there. But yeah, just you've seen all these tragic headlines over the last couple of months, and I just, when you have that many people coming into the area, we've touched on it week in and week out, things are bound and determined, and big body of water, it's dangerous if you don't take the necessary safety precautions.
And that other one, a boat Tri-Tune collided. This was over the holiday weekend, 2003 Formula boat and the Tri-Tune. The Tri-Tune was pulling some tubes, but again, this was on a busy part of the lake on the main channel, the 15.5-mile marker. Hey, you got to be careful out there, people. Sometimes when I'm out, the lovely wife and I are out on the boat, and you see people probably from out of town pulling the kids on a tube in and out of boats in the main channel, and you're thinking, what's going on?
Here's your sign.
Yeah, it's like stupid, right? So, be careful, check it out. I know I'm an angry old man, but, be smart about this. Don't be pulling your kids on tubes in front of other boats and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially the main channel. And for us, we always kind of had the rule, holiday weekends and weekends in general, we didn't really do that. We didn't do the tubing.
Yeah.
We didn't get the wave runners out on the main channel. We typically enjoyed the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lull, where it was a little more open and a little calmer, because you still have the same amount of fun. But I'm telling you what, it can be intimidating, it can be scary, and sometimes it's not as much about you and your knowledge, but it's about the many people that are on the water, that don't have a ton of boating experience. So maybe stay clear and let those people have the lake on the busy weekend. So in sports and national headlines, Chris, I'm a fighting fan. I didn't rent the fight, but I did happen to see that the third Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier fight ended abruptly after the first round as Conor McGregor snapped and broke his leg.
Is that what happened? He broke
and
it?
Fibula.
Oh.
And so after round one, it was called. Poirier wins. That's 2 in a row after Conor took the first one. And, it didn't stop Conor McGregor from being the ever-mouthy, obnoxious fighter he is. As soon as the fight was over, he told Dustin, he said, well, your wife was in my DMs on Facebook or Instagram and just started taking knocks. So it's funny, only Conor McGregor sitting there with a broken leg getting, carted out of there, and he's mouthing, talking trash on the way out. So interesting, there could be a fourth fight in the works in the future. It'll really depend on if Conor McGregor makes a full recovery. And a lot of people were talking that his career may be over. Something tells me it's not, especially.
How old is he? He's like late 30s now, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what, the Irishman is a marketing genius.
Yeah,
he sold his whiskey company for $600 million.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
That is.
Just his whiskey. He sold his share, but they're still going to pay him a ridiculous amount to be the spokesperson and endorser of it. And $600 million, that's like Uncle Chris kind of money.
That's like Wild Will kind of money there.
I beat you to it because I knew it was coming. All right, so NFL just about 6 weeks away from kicking off.
Wow.
I'm ecstatic. Fantasy football drafts right around the corner, and you're going to start seeing your preseason rankings as far as top teams, top defenses, top quarterbacks, running backs. And so today, Uncle Chris and I are going to lay out our top 3 quarterbacks.
And I'm betting they're the same 3. Maybe not in the same order, but I bet we have the same 3.
Headed in to 2021 NFL season. Chris, who are your top 3 quarterbacks starting with number 3?
Okay, well, 1 and 2 are basically the same. Brady and Mr. Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes. I think Mahomes is the better talented quarterback, but I've got to put Brady at number 1 just because he's freaking Brady, right? Because he won another Super Bowl last year, and you just can't beat the dude.
Right.
So I've got Brady 1, I've got Mahomes 2, and at number 3, I've got the Bills' young quarterback because, he really made some great strides last year. He's a big, strong guy, and he comes from Wyoming, which is where I was born. So, he's got everything going for him right there. So those are my top 3. Who are yours?
I'm shocked. We are dead on the exact same.
I knew it.
You called it.
Yeah,
Josh
baby.
Allen, he was 3rd in the NFL in QBR last year at 84.7. And if you look at that 2018 draft class with Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, of course you had Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen, those 2 guys kind of forgotten out at this point. But Josh Allen has more total touchdowns than both of those guys, and he really has the Bills in a good position.
Yeah.
Number 2, I'm at Patrick Mahomes, and like you
put
said,
him at number 1?
No, Patrick Mahomes at number 2.
Okay.
And a lot of people would say that Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL going into the season. He's younger, but I would urge people, how many times we're going to do this to Tom Brady? Until he is dethroned, until he walks away, he's still the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
He can leave teams, he can leave conferences, he can be considered down and out. They were 7-4, 12 weeks into the season last week, coming off their bye week. Looked like, the Bucs are just middle of the pack. They win his 7th Super Bowl. The guy's in the Super Bowl every other year on average through his 21-year NFL career. When are people going to start giving him the respect? If he is playing, he is still the best quarterback in the NFL. I take him over Patrick Mahomes. I take him over Josh Allen. I take him over Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers because he's the GOAT, baby.
Yeah.
You don't ever count him out. I'm glad to see you give him some respect because you don't even like Brady.
I don't like Brady. I really don't, but he is great. So those are our top 3 now. Who are the top 3 of all time?
Coming next week on the show because we're running out of time. Another segment I'm going to bring to you in 2021. Streaming is just off the charts. Lake TV is available on Roku. We're also coming to Amazon Fire Stick.
Yeah.
And you see some incredible series. One I wanted to point out is on Netflix, Manifest.
Yeah.
Just incredible. So here's the storyline. Imagine you get on an airplane, right? You and Michelle, you're going to be flying back from New York, okay?
Okay.
And you guys get split up, and she takes the originally scheduled flight. You have to hop on one afterwards. So you're on the flight. You guys run into a storm. Your plane disappears. Doesn't feel like to you, it does. You land at the airport, and guess what's happened? 5.5 years have flown by.
Yeah.
Your family's aged. However, you look like you're the exact same age, and that's what happens in Manifest. It's crazy.
That's cool.
It is phenomenal, and they're trying
like
to figure out, was it time travel? Did they freeze us? Is this government? Are we being tested? And it's pretty crazy because some of the significant others come back and their spouses have moved on.
You believe in time travel?
I don't. No, I don't. Not at this point. Not unless Elon Musk makes it happen.
Maybe he has. So there's people out there that say he has. I don't think so either, but who knows?
So Manifest on Netflix, you got to check it out. 2 seasons out, working on a 3rd season. Unique and I started it, and we just can't stop. We absolutely love it. So that's a series you've got to watch. You got an inspirational quote for me this week?
You ready for the inspirational quote of the week?
I need it this week, baby.
Okay, this is from a guy I actually met, a real nice guy, Cal Ripken Jr., Hall of Fame baseball player.
The Iron Man.
That's right. He said, stubbornness is usually considered a negative, right? But I think that trait has been a positive for me. So that's Cal Ripken Jr. His stubbornness he credits as how he got to be the Iron Man. He was just too stubborn not to play.
Yeah, how many games in a row? It was like 2,587, something like that. That he didn't miss a game, and that's what he means, because if he had an ailment or, he had an ankle tweak, or if he had a sore shoulder, he probably should have taken an extra day of rest. He did not.
He did not, yeah.
So that's stubbornness at its finest.
I mean, that's it doesn't sound crazy when you just say, 2,700 straight games or something. But if you put that year after year, I don't know how many years, it was like 23 straight years that he never missed a game. It was unbelievable.
Insane. Yeah. No doubt about it. All right, upcoming events. Big one this weekend. It is the largest family-friendly, they say it's family-friendly.
Ooh, that's right.
Boating event of the year. It's Aquapalooza for the first time ever over at Captain Ron's. Yeah. That's going to be cool. 4 bands. You can see them on screen right there. This event is
I better get ready for that.
Yeah, Uncle Chris will be out there looking cool as the other side of the pillow. But 4 bands. This is presented by Benny Media. They do a wonderful job, and it's taking place at Captain Ron's the first time ever. A couple other events to check out. All-girls wakeboarding, wake surfing event this Sunday with Kirby Leesman. That's really, really neat.
He's a friend of Lake TV. He's a good guy, right?
We love Kirby. He's a real neat guy. Real big believer, and he's actually got a devotional him and his wife have written and authored together for wakeboarders and for that circuit. I mean, you travel, you're on body of water, there's always booze flowing, and so he wants to use his platform as a pro wakeboarder to encourage and inspire those around him. So love Kirby. Also, local musician Steve Moore. There's a fundraiser for him this Sunday at Damn Good Slice. iBerries will be there, live auction. Some other musicians, going to be an all-day event. So go check that out. This week on Lake TV, it is Alan Sullivan, director for Crossover, taking place August 20th through the 22nd. Going to be pretty cool. You've got Skillet, you've got We Are Vessel, you've got Matthew West. You've got all kinds of cool things going on that entire weekend. You can get your tickets at ozarksamp.com, or you can go to crossover2021.com to
and
find
Alan's
out more.
And Alan's a great guy. He's on the Spotlight show this week. You can see that at Community Spotlight, 9, 3, and 7 every day right here on Lake TV.
And next week, I think you got Tiffany and Mark Mawson coming on to talk shootout. That'll be another good one. Also, catch Weekend at the Lake with Bob Spicer this week. And, of course, another episode of What's Burning with Kevin K.B. Burns. We'll have Bill Lacasse from SRG Financial Advisors on the show, Professor Jim Paisley, and then interested to see what furry friend is up for adoption at Ozarks Cat and Canine. For Uncle Chris, I'm Wild Will. Big shout out to our incredible crew. And, of course, Jill Ray, Daryl Cunningham, and the fine folks right here at Slumberland. We'll see you next week.